Hi, hello, welcome to Vital Biology. This is Padma. In this video, we will learn about animal kingdom. In our previous classes, we have learned in detail about various groups of animals. And in this video, we mainly focus on the key points or the important points of the chapter, that is animal kingdom. As we know that according to 5 kingdom classification of Whittaker, the Animalia comes under the 5th kingdom, in which various organisms are included. Some are simple and whereas some are complex organisms. So now in this particular class, we will mainly focus on the basic features or the characteristic features which are mainly helped to understand about these organisms, and also these are helpful or helped in arranging of these animals in a proper systematic manner. So let's start the class. So the first basic feature which help these organisms for classifying, so that character is levels of organization. So what exactly the levels of organization? So in this we will actually mainly focus on how their body is made up of cells and how the cells are arranged and how they function. Okay. So in that levels of organization, we mainly focus on how the cells are and how they are arranged and how they function. Okay. And based on that, animals are like divided into cellular level, tissue level, organ level, organ system level. Cellular level, where in the organisms cells are numerous and they are arranged individually. Okay, they are loosely arranged. There is no coordination. So that's why we said cellular level. And that cellular level is observed in one of the phylum, that is Porifera. Okay, Porifera, pore-bearing organisms. And the next level is tissue level, where similar sort of cells are coordinated because nerve cells are evolved first time in these animals. So yes, that's why tissues are formed. So that's why tissue level. And for that, the best example is the Cnidaria, and even Ctenophora also comes. Okay, Cnidaria and Ctenophora. So the next level is organ level, where different types of tissues coordinated to form a specific functional structure which is called as organ. And such an organ level of organization is seen in one of the phylum, that is of the Platyhelminthes. Okay, Platyhelminthes. Organ system level is the next, where these various organs together organized, coordinated, so that they can function in a one of the system, which is called as the organ system. And for that, the examples are like Nematoda, Annelida, and the further groups. Okay, here we can give mainly Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, even all the chordates. So all these comes under this particular organ system level of the organization. And one more basic feature which helped for classification is body symmetry. And what is this body symmetry means? How exactly the body parts are arranged around an axis. Okay, according to the shape of the organism, the body axis will be different. Like oroeboral axis in a circular round organisms, or anterior-posterior axis in a elongated organisms. So based on that axis, how the body parts arranged, okay, around this axis. So that character actually is called as the body symmetry. And this can be also of various types. As some of the organisms doesn't show proper arrangement, that's why they are described as asymmetrical organisms. Asymmetry, absence of symmetry, means there is no proper arrangement of body parts. So for that, yes, again the sponges or the poriferans comes as example. Next, like radial symmetry, where the body parts are arranged around a central axis. Okay, means here body parts, suppose if the organism is circular, okay, from center to periphery, in a radial manner the body parts are arranged. Such an arrangement is called as actually radial symmetry. And for that example is, yes, one is the Here they told like the starfish means echinoderm. Okay, one of the group is Echinodermata, but before to that if we will see Cnidaria. Okay, before to that Cnidaria, Ctenophora and Echinodermata. So in all these organisms, yes, we can see the radial symmetry, and especially starfish-like organisms where we can see 5 arms. So that's why 5 radii. So that's why the symmetry is pentaradial symmetry. Okay, so that is about the radial symmetry. Next, going towards the bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry. Body parts are arranged both the right and as well as the left sides. Okay, right side and as well as the left side. Okay, so here they said right and the left halves can be seen which are equal also. Both the laterals are equal. That's why it is called as the bilateral symmetry. And the organisms which are elongated, yes, in them we can see such type of the bilateral symmetry. Like for example, here Annelida, and as well as in the case of the chordates especially, yes, they exhibit such type of the bilateral symmetry. Going towards the one more characteristic feature, that is of the germ layers. One more basis for classification is germ layers. Okay, so germ layers are actually the main key feature for formation of the body parts. Okay, and mainly based on the number of these germ layers, these organisms are differentiated into mainly 2 categories. One is the diploblastic, another one is the triploblastic animals. So diploblastic means here we can say only they contain ectoderm plus endoderm. Okay, only they contain ectoderm and endoderm, only 2 layers. And such type of diploblastic nature is seen in the case of the Cnidaria and even Ctenophora. Cnidaria and Ctenophora are the examples for such type of diploblastic animals where 2 germ layers are present, that is ectoderm and endoderm. Whereas another one more type of the animal, that is of the triploblastic animals. Okay, triploblastic, means total all the 3 germ layers are present, that is ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. So all the 3 layers we can see, and for that examples are Platyhelminthes 2 up to the chordates. Okay, means up to the mammals. Platyhelminthes 2 up to the mammals. All these are triploblastic animals. Next, one more feature, that is a basis for classification, that is the body cavity or otherwise coelom. So body cavity or the coelom is nothing but the space between body wall and the gut. Okay, the body wall, and suppose if this is the gut, whatever the space here it is present, so that space is called as the coelom or body cavity. And suppose it is not required that all the organisms should be possess this cavity. So in some it is absent also. So such a group of organisms are called as acoelomates. Okay, coelom is absent, acoelomates. And for that example is flatworms, means here Platyhelminthes. Example is Platyhelminthes. Example, there it is Platyhelminthes. And the next, pseudocoelomates. Okay, pseudocoelomates means just it gives the impression that it is containing the body cavity. But as we know that the rule is towards the body wall side and towards the gut region. Definitely it should line by the mesoderm. Then only it is called as the true coelom. But such a character is missing in this particular type of the organisms. So that's why they are called as the pseudocoelomates. Okay, that character is not completely fulfilled. That's why it is called as the pseudocoelomate. And so that is called as a false cavity. And for that examples are roundworms. So roundworms here means nematoda. Okay, nematoda. And going towards the coelomates. Yes, in this coelomates a true cavity is present. A true body cavity means both the body wall side and the gut wall side, the mesoderm is present. Okay, but as we know that how the mesoderm is formed, based on that again these coelomates are, or this coelom is again further classified into schizocoelom and enterocoelom. If the coelom is formed from the mesodermal blocks, then it is called as the schizocoelom. Okay, schizocoelom. And further schizocoelom, yes, mainly Annelida, Arthropoda and Mollusca. Okay, these three are comes under schizocoelomates. Schizocoelom means from the mesodermal block the mesoderm originates. Whereas another one is the enterocoelomates. Enterocoelomates means from the gut pouches. Okay, from the gut pouches if the mesoderm forms, then such group of organisms are called as, yes, those are enterocoelomates. And for that example is from Echinodermata to mammals. Okay, Echinodermata to mammals. So that is for the enterocoelomates. Okay, so one is schizocoelom and another one is enterocoelom. Okay, that is about the coelom. And one more feature or the basis for classification is segmentation. Okay, segmentation. Segmentation means repetition of body parts. Repetition of body parts. And it is present in some but absent in also in some of the organisms. Okay, so if it is exhibiting, if the organisms are exhibiting such type of the repetition of the body parts in a various compartment like structures in the entire body, such an structure, such an character is called as a metamerism. Okay, segmentation, or here we will use one of a word that is metamerism. Okay, so the organisms in the animal kingdom which exhibit such type of the metamerism are like especially Annelida and as well as Chordata. Annelida and as well as Chordata. These are the best examples which exhibit such type of the metamerism. Next, notochord structure. Okay, notochord. So what is this notochord? So notochord means which is a supporting rod-like structure which is generally present in the embryonic development of chordates. Okay, during the embryonic development of the chordates, one of a rod-like supportive structure can be seen. So that is called as the notochord. Okay, and in case of non-chordates, yes, this notochord is absent, whereas in the case of the chordates, this notochord is present. And further examples are like all the in non-chordates means here we can say Porifera 2 up to the yes, so Porifera 2 up to the Echinodermata. Not only Echinodermata, even we can say Hemichordata. Okay, Porifera to Hemichordata, all those are non-chordates. And from primitive protochordates means cephalochordates, urochordates and all the vertebrates, cyclostomes. So like this all the chordates actually comes for the example as they contain such type of a notochord. So that's why they are called as the chordates. Okay, so these are the various basic features which are actually the key points for the classification, are the basic characteristic feature for classification. Yes, so now up to now we have studied mainly how in the case of the animal kingdom, the basic features help the organisms to like differentiate. And now we will mainly focus on the key characteristic feature which mainly vary from one of the vertebrate to the another vertebrate. So here you can see, yes, here we took various vertebrates like Pisces, amphibians, reptiles, aves and then mammals. Okay, in this particular table if we will see, yes, the main habitat. So habitat point of view, Pisces are aquatic as they live in water. Okay, yes, they live in water, that's why we said aquatic. And their body covering, if we will see, their body is covered with the scales. And respiration point of view, as they are aquatic, yes, gill respiration or the branchial respiration is seen. And heart is, yes, two chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. Whereas the limbs, here the limbs are modified into fins so that they can swim in water. Whereas the fertilization is external fertilization and development is indirect development. And according to the body temperature, generally these organisms are called as a cold-blooded animals. So cold-blooded means they have to change their body temperature according to the external environment. So that's why they are called as the, yes, cold-blooded or otherwise poikilotherms. Okay, poikilotherms. And going towards the amphibians, so their habitat is, yes, they can live on land and as well as in water. And skin is generally moist skin. And the type of the respiration is, yes, through the gills, that is of the branchial respiration, lungs, pulmonary respiration, even they exhibit cutaneous respiration. And especially here, gills are seen in its larval stage. Okay, gills are observed in the case of the larval stage. And heart is three chambered, and in these organisms, yes, 2 pairs of limbs are present, and the fertilization is external and development is indirect, and body temperature wise if we will see, these are also poikiloderms or otherwise cold-blooded animals. Going towards the reptilia. In the case of the reptilia, yes, habitat point of view, these are completely terrestrial, we will say. For that, yes, their body is provided with the dry scales or otherwise plates or otherwise scutes-like structures. Okay, and respiration is through lungs, so that's why pulmonary respiration. Okay, and heart is 3-chambered majority of the reptiles except crocodilia, which consists of 4-chambered heart. And limbs are, yes, 2 pairs of limbs are seen, and the fertilization is here, yes, internal fertilization. And here you can see the development is also direct development. And yes, these are also cold-blooded, means poikiloderms. So here you can see body temperature point of view, Pisces, Amphibia and reptiles all are cold-blooded. Okay, going towards the birds. So in case of the birds, yes, their habitat is aerial mode of habitat, body is covered with feathers. And yes, respiration point of view, we can see lungs, and along with the lungs, yes, additional air sacs also present. So that's why we said double respiration is seen in the case of the birds. Okay, double respiration as they are provided with lungs and also air sacs. And heart is, yes, completely divided, 4-chambered heart. And 2 pairs of limbs are present, in which the first pair or the anterior most limbs are modified into wings so that they can fly. Whereas the posterior most limbs, as we have already discussed, they helps in like clasping the branches or otherwise for walking, running, swimming, like this various purposes according to their habitat. And then fertilization is internal fertilization, development is direct development, and yes, here these organisms are warm-blooded. Okay, they have a fixed body temperature. It is not going to change according to external environment. Okay, so it have a fixed body temperature. So such organisms are called as the warm-blooded animals. And going towards the mammals, yes, mammals are like occupy different habitats. Like they can live on land, that's why terrestrial. They can live in water, that's why aquatic, and even they can be aerial habitat also. And especially the body covering here, if you will see, yes, body is covered with hair, whereas the respiration point of view, if you will see, yes, lungs are present, that's why pulmonary respiration. And heart is 4-chambered heart, and whereas, yes, limbs are 2 pairs of limbs can be observed. And here the fertilization is internal fertilization, and the development is direct development. And yes, mammals also warm-blooded or otherwise homeotherms. Okay, warm-blooded or otherwise homeotherms. Okay, so these are the various characteristic features as a comparison in the various groups of vertebrates. Okay, and here especially if you will see these Pisces and amphibians. So these are called as anamniotes. Okay, one more interesting character. These are called as anamniotes, whereas the reptiles, aves and as well as the mammals are called as amniotes. Okay, amniotes. So anamniotes, amniotes. So generally in their embryonic stages, one of the embryonic layer, that is amnion or amniotic sac. Okay, amniotic sac. Generally in the embryonic development, around the embryo, various embryonic layers are formed, like yolk sac, amnion, allantois, chorion. Okay, so these are the various embryonic layers. Okay, but in the case of the Pisces and amphibians, if you will see, this amniotic layer is here, it is absent. So that's why these are called as the anamniotes. And this amniotic layer or the amniotic sac is started from the reptiles onwards. That's why this reptilia, aves and mammals are considered as the amniotes. So the main purpose of this amniotic sac is, as here you can notice that reptiles are evolved to lead a complete terrestrial mode of life. And when the development is also going towards the outside of their body, that is inside the egg shell, yes, still the external environmental temperatures, okay, so that may desiccate the fluid content of the egg. Okay, especially desiccation is the main problem. So to avoid that, yes, they are providing their embryo with a fluid which give the nourishment and as well as the moisture, and also to avoid the desiccation. So that fluid is the amniotic fluid, and the sac is called as the amniotic sac. Okay, so that's why reptiles, aves and as well as the mammals are considered as the amniotes. Okay, so these are anamniotes and these are the amniotes. Okay, so these are the mainly few of the key points or the important points of this animal kingdom.